Shonen. Harem. Two genres that can't be more different from each other. But once in a blue moon the stars align, and Japan conceives a truly bizarre creation. Just like Dr. Frankenstein making his monster out of corpses when everybody told him not to fucking do it. Just like the forbidden mix between a vampire and a werewolf, or putting milk before cereal. Japan has successfully fused the shonen with the harem in this monstrous creation. Ladies, and more probably gentlemen, I give you Marriagetoxin. A manga that at first glance may seem just like any other battle shonen, but when you look deep into it, it's actually a harem in disguise. No, not like that. This one's actually good. And even though Marriagetoxin is technically only a shonen, it does have elements that make it more of a mix of these two. Shonen, as you may know, is a word referred to the demographic when we talk about manga or anime, and arguably what anime is most known for nowadays. But shonen is not just young boys screaming and fighting. There's plenty of that, but like any other thing on the planet, shonen changes and adapts, especially to better fit the current generation of readers. We can see its evolution in the people who read them with the most iconic titles of its era. The most famous early shonen we can trace back to our Astro Boy and later Dragon Ball 30 years apart, on which feature young boys going on exciting new adventures and meeting new people, as probably were also doing the young boys who read them in those years. Can't say for sure though, since I'm not a Japanese boy from the 50s, and I sure like to ask them what it was like, but OG Astro Boy fans are probably dead, and Dragon Ball fans are, well... Fast forward to the 2000s and we got the big three, with teen protagonists facing more menacing threats and dealing with more mature themes like racism, slavery, getting tattoos, people not talking to you because you liked anime probably, and having holes in your chest. I guess, I don't know. Things every teenager deals with. Everything is an Avengers level threat, just like everything feels like the end of the world when you're young. But nonetheless, we had older protagonists, again reflecting the audience who read them and saw themselves in. Harem, on the other way, is a bit different. Mainly because every iteration of it is just lots of girls falling in love for the same guy for no apparent reason. But just like shonen, harem also evolves, and throughout the years we've been able to see vastly different versions of it. Recently, for instance, we've had sister harem, fine, I actually like this one, okay? Polyamorous harem, NTR harem, weird quantum physics bunny girl harem, and just weird harem. I don't really get this one. Which is why I was fairly surprised when I encountered this manga. Marriagetoxin is a shonen manga currently being published on Shonen Jump Plus, or Manga Plus if you use it as me, home to many great other series like Dan 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 and Chainsaw Man, and just like those series, Marriagetoxin follows the direction of bringing new elements to the shonen genre, as the term shonen has shifted from just a target demographic to a type of style. Now we don't necessarily have a young boy protagonist, now we have boys, or girls, or sometimes both. We still have the bombastic action and young protagonists, but we also see darker, more realistic takes on the genre. Current shonen is a mix of different things, and along that evolution now we have adults as the main characters, with adult problems, again symbolizing the change of the people who read them. Like me, I'm not a young boy, but I'm still reading the stuff. Here we follow Hikaru Geto, an assassin from the family of poison users, one of the top 5 families of assassins. Now, bear with me. Grandma wants to keep the family alive and well, with the last generation being Garen, his very hot sister. But Geto doesn't even think he has a chance to get married, and his job is not a great place to meet people that will continue breathing. And his very hot sister is very happy with her girlfriend. So, long story short, he gets a call to unalive someone, who just happens to be a very attractive girl. But then he gets another call from his very hot sister. Did I mention that she's really hot? Well, TLDR, she says that she'll marry someone who she doesn't love in order to continue the family, because she doesn't have any other option, really. So, in order to help his sister, Geto proposes to Kinosaki, who flirted with him a little. Oh, this is Kinosaki, by the way, the marriage swindler that he's supposed to kill? Here you'll probably say, this is when they begin a deal, Alex Spike's family, and have a double life as assassins and stuff. But she's like, hell no, sucker, you wish. I was just tricking you because I'm literally going to die, so I might as well go down swinging one last time. Besides, that's not how people meet and fall in love. It has to be mutual and natural, not a deal. So, Geto gives a speech and realizes that he does want to get married and have a, oh, how was your day, honey? Normal kind of life. So he's like, alright, let's change tactics. I'll save you right now and you help me find someone to get married to. She agrees, Geto injects himself with steroids and saves Kinosaki from the mob. And as a good brother, he says, don't worry, be happy. It truly is a miracle when you find out someone special. It's a bit corny, but honestly, true. And so they begin their mission to find Geto a wife. And at this point you probably think, oh, I know how this goes, they will meet some people, but really he and Kinosaki will slowly fall in love and end up together at the end. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Kinosaki is a man. Wait, come again? So yeah, apparently he doesn't only swindle men, but women as well. And honestly, I don't judge, and respect the hustle. But Geto makes it very clear that he doesn't go that way by basically having an existential crisis. So yeah, there goes that theory. And even if that happened, we would encounter another sister situation that would take us back to square one, so... But hey, where are the girls? A harem, by definition, it's a lot of girls, and we only had kinda one, but that was a debate. So... Welcome back everybody to the game of... For contestant number 1, we have a no bullshit young woman, an art thief with a heart of gold in a noble quest to return art to their legitimate owners, because apparently she sees the paintings cry. Okay, a bit weird champ, I give you Kyoko Himekawa! And her trusty partner, Joshua the Shark! For contestant number 2, we have your typical girl, a shy, hardworking university student fighting her embarrassment in order to run the company left by her father. Careful, she seems innocent, but she'll perform a magic trick in her magical girl costume that will melt your heart. Shiori Ureshino! Contestant number 3 is like Gero himself, an assassin and a specialist. From the Beast Clan hamster user Kimi Arashiyama! Because in every series you need one, she is a bit of a tsundere, but unlike the previous two, she comes with a little bit of a twist that makes her a fan favorite. Read further in the manga to find out. As a bonus, we have a previous enemy turned ally, at least when she gets paid, water user Ushio, who I honest to god didn't realize she was a woman the first time I read the manga. She tries her best to hide her emotions, but we can still see some behind that mask. And finally, we have another pretty young lady, and that's the only thing I'll say, since I haven't caught up and I'm reading the wiki and I don't want to get myself spoiled. Chinatsu Akakura! So, there you go. Like any other harem, the girls. But unlike other harems, here we're dealing with adults, so you never had to fear the, oh yeah, you like her? Well, she's 16, you fucking weirdo. Here they all are certified 20-something-year-olds. And unlike your typical, oh my god, I literally fell on you and I'm in love with you, romance bullshit, here every arc is basically get a bodyguard and a hot girl, but with enough tweaks so it never gets boring. And you know how in every other show the girls appear to be interested in the MC just because the story says they have to be? Well, here everything feels natural as this guy is the one looking to meet and help people, and that active part makes each encounter much more realistic. I mean, tell me, how many times 4 girls were interested in you right at the same time out of nowhere? I mean, it hasn't happened to me at least. And it goes without saying, but the art is really good, especially the character designs. All the girls are really distinct and really cute, and so are the clothes. Every character looks great, especially Genosaki with all the different outfits she wears in the manga, since she, or he, is the one we see more often. Oh, and there's a really cool thing. Every so often there is a bonus chapter that shows different scenarios, like getting one of the girls texting to have a date. And at the end you'll see these awesome illustrations. I really love the colors in them and they're beautiful. Besides, it's a really cool touch to give the images some context. But enough of that, I do have a few complaints. You know when you read a manga and after like 1 or 2 chapters you're like, alright, I'm sold, 10 out of 10, masterpiece. It doesn't fuck around and hooks you right away. Well, Marriagetoxin isn't like that. It is entertaining, but at first it does feel like any other shonen you've already seen. Saving people, bullshitting the enemy about values and stuff, which makes it less interesting at first. But as the manga goes on, it really starts finding its footing when it focuses on stories about the relationship of the characters, more than the fights and the battles. When I got to the second arc, I actually found myself really getting invested. Seeing this really shy girl filled with social anxieties and worries just push forward despite being scared to shed really resonated with me. I understand where she's coming from, which made her story feel much more personal to me. Plus, the outfit was a nice touch. Besides, reading back the first chapters, I really didn't care that much about them. I couldn't actually believe that Gero's family could be that awful since we hadn't seen them, but as you read further, the writer really expands on things we've only been told, like the families and the world of assassins, and Gero especially. In the first chapter we see Gero have drinks with a friend, but I honestly wasn't really convinced about this too, until we see how they met and became friends. We learn a ton about Gero and why he's so socially unadapted. And we learn a lot of stuff that really gives context to early chapters and to the core of the story. And as it goes on, the manga really improves on everything, really. In the shonen aspect, with the villains and some subversions of them, and in the romance aspect as well. But one of my favorite things about this manga is how it portrays its possible relationships. Remember how I said that shonen reflects the changes that reader goes through with each generation? Well, apparently now we simply don't know how to date. And yeah, true enough, but I'm willing to bet that a lot of people who like anime and manga are not total social wrecks like this one. But this story really puts some things into perspective when it comes to meeting people and dating. Maybe you like a girl or a boy and you're just really stressed and insecure about them liking you back. So you focus everything on trying to make a good impression and it backfires. And you forget that at the end of the day, and it does sound cheesy, but just having a good time and letting things flow naturally is the best. I am not a giga child myself, but the times dates went well definitely wasn't thanks to a master plan. I just kinda improvised, really. The manga really gives good advice at dating, and even though it may seem basic, when you're in that situation, it's like you're a deer in headlights. You know the car is coming and you have to get off the road, but in that moment you're just shocked. I'm on a date, of course I have to compliment them about their looks. You look beautiful, honey. And this may be a little bit of a spoiler, but obviously Gero doesn't marry any of the girls he meets right away. I mean, come on, we have to serialize this for a few more years and we're just getting started. But the reasons to at least not date right away really surprised me. For example, the first girl, Himigawa. Gero's just like, I think you're really cool and all, but honestly we don't know each other that well. So why don't we start off as friends to get to know each other and see how things go from there. And this honestly left me appalled because I literally have heard this conversation in real life, verbatim. A lot of the girls and also Gero prefer to do some self-improvement before they feel ready to be in a relationship. An aspect that felt really human to me. At the end of the day, what I really loved about this manga was the romance and how these relationships could progress, instead of the whole shonen battle stuff. Seeing how Gero will ruin a simple date but still trying his best, and the advices we get from Kinosaki, they're all really entertaining to see, sometimes even more than the fights. But as any good harem, we slowly find ourselves liking all of the girls. Everyone is a solid match, but you know that one has to win at the end. And I am really interested to see how that will go. And that's why I think Marriagetoxin is a great harem. because it takes all of the elements that we're used to see, but it always feels realistic and earned. And it actually gives solid advice at dating, not just a self-inserted fantasy by the author who posts an anime girl in real life pictures, as if she was really there. Guys, I'm recording this as I just got up to the manga before uploading the video, and good news, we have a goth GF now, so great. And also, remember all those rent-a-girlfriend jokes I made before? Well, this just happened. So, yeah. Fuck!